the screen. Now we to set it up.
Yeah.
We are all set.
Yes.
How you will look. It's okay, no?
Yeah. Should we have more light?
One more light?
Should we?
Yeah,
It's a bit dark, no? Skin color also. Yeah, I think so. Oof. गर्मी हो जाएगा बहुत.
नहीं गर्मी नहीं होगा. This light is not so hot. It's better?
Yeah. Yeah, no?
Yeah, this is much better.
मेरा साड़ी दिखे नहीं.
तुम किधर है सुनील? जरा नीचे आएंगे तुम लोग. हम लोग इधर शो चल रहा है. तुम लोग कोई भी नहीं है इधर नीचे.
Water is here.
Yeah. Okay. Can you adjust this light? Take it up.
Yeah.
और भी ऊपर.
I think works. थोड़ा और ऊपर चाहिए ना.
फेस पे आना चाहिए. देखो यहाँ पे लाइट नहीं आ रहा है. सुनील को बुलाओ जल्दी करो. Sorry. So are we all ready? We have got four people already viewing us, and Gokul, Manju. Who else is there on the line? Hi everybody.
Hi everybody.
So let me take the pleasure of introducing to us today's guest, She is the chief curator for Bespoken also, and she is an entrepreneur. Uh, she has been in the business of fashion and art and design. And let me introduce.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Yeah.
So we have Anju Shetty, but she is Anju Singhal's Shetty.
Mhm.
So this is a very, very special name she owns.
Yes, that's true. It's an amalgamation of north and south, like they say.
Yeah, so today we are really going to have a lot of amalgamation of design, fashion, south and north.
Past, future, present.
Past, future, and present.
Right?
Wow, wow, this is so amazing, so amazing. I'm so glad to have you here at the FAD studio.
Thank you for having me over.
Yeah, so Anju and me actually go back days much earlier. It was in 1991, 92.
Yes, 92.
When I met Anju when I was a management trainee in Bremen in JK Ground.
Yes. Yeah.
And Anju was my from the brand Park Avenue, and she was designing for Park Avenue suits and jackets.
Yes. Yeah.
And we would sometimes bump into each other for lunch. And
that's true. And the adda.
And the adda, yeah. So tell me a little bit more about yourself before we get into the subject of antique furniture, which is what we are going to talk about today.
So basically, I have grown up in a place called Udaipur, and it's rated now as the third most beautiful city in the world. Of course, we never knew the importance of being born and brought up in a city like that.
Yeah.
So we were a joint family, and we were like 52 people under the same roof.
52 people under one roof.
Yeah.
And this was a
it was like a haveli. It was a haveli. You can't call it a mansion. It's not that big. But yeah, it had around 42 rooms.
42 rooms for me is a mansion.
Yeah. So it was like growing up there, having these 12 girls, group and 12 boys. So we were like 24 first cousins.
So there were how many families?
So there were 7 families.
Wow. And they were all siblings.
All siblings.
Of the same...
same mom and dad. Yes.
Wow. Amazing. So, this is India.
Yeah. So, when we were growing up there, we saw this beauty everywhere. This, the old, we call it the kimad. Kimad is the old door, the door basically. So the old doors and we call gokhars, the windows with balconies and things like that, and all the grills and jalis and all. And we never paid attention. It was like, it was just there, you just took it for granted. You never saw beauty in them. Yeah. They were so beautiful. And of course, the whole Rajasthani culture of art and fashion. There is fashion in each and every house. Like I remember my mom stitching clothes for all of us by hand. And it used to be like the most fashionable, in the parlance. Yeah. So
so this was all home stitched.
Home stitched, yeah.
So you would buy fabrics and then you would stitch it at home.
Yes, yeah. So like they used to buy thongs because money was scarce. You couldn't go and buy ready-mades. Of course, ready-mades was not a fashion also.
This was how many years back you're talking?
I'm talking of...
I'm sorry, I'm not asking you.
like somewhere around the years between... So I am 68 born. So from 68 to the next 10 years, you could say, or 15 years, therefore. And it was like...
And during those days, there was electricity?
Yes.
And how old is this house where you were staying?
This house was 400 years old.
Okay.
It was built by my great-great-great-great-grandfather or something.
400 years old house you were staying in?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a heritage property.
It's a heritage property. It has been like now divided amongst brothers and sisters, and each one has got one small
it still exists.
And it still exists.
400-year-old building still exists in Udaipur.
Yeah.
I want to come to Udaipur.
You have to, because this place is called. This is a walled city. So the old walled city. It has 5 gates, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm correct about that. So Surajpol used to be one of the gates, and this was bang diagonally opposite to the gate inside the walled city. So like, and my great grandfather was a lawyer in the royal family.
Oh,
So we have the surname Kanungo as a upadhi, but it was never used after my grandfather because you want to leave the old behind,
and the Singhal in the
and the
front.
single is in the front.
So the Singhal came out
Yes.
after that.
So that's where I grew up, pretty much. A beautiful house. Now when I look back, and this morning when I was driving here to FAD office, and such a lovely office this, and I was thinking, oh, those jalis, and that small temple, that where there was an old Krishna Murti,
Right.
and the staircase was not even 1.5 feet, it was that narrow. Only one person could climb up this. But the well that was associated with that had these, what we call these wall panels that we use these days, used to be there for the pulley, the well pulley, where you pull the rope. And everything was carved, everything was decorated, like those doors with the carvings. There was another temple nearby, which was called an asthal. It's still called asthal. Asthal means not a place.
Asthal, yeah.
Asthal,
Means
so
it's not a place.
not a
There is
place.
no place.
No place. But it is a temple. And it had these huge doors, which were like, almost 20 feet, with
Wow.
those knobs, those which were there for the elephants, to enter and things like that. So amazing place. Like there is beauty everywhere, and we just took it for granted. Yes.
And now you're finding that value and you're bringing it back.
Yes. Yeah. So, what happened really is around 7, 8 years back, I visited a godown with antiques. And
This was in Udaipur.
this was in Gujarat. Yeah.
That's part of.
Yeah, part of, I mean, the whole West culture, the culture of the West of India. And I visited that, and I realized we would have had 50% of those pieces in our house, which had lost its value.
Wow.
Right? So it was like all that heritage and all the memories came back. All those hide and seek that we used to start playing in the morning, and it wouldn't get over till night because the same guy is still giving the den because it was difficult to find each other.
I didn't see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like that, and
So walking through the godown was another hide and seek.
yeah, another hide. And I said, oh my God, this is so valuable. Not in terms of money, that comes later, but this is so valuable. This is our heritage. This is our culture.
Wow.
And imagine bringing that character into your homes. So I had been mulling over it. Finally, the pandemic happened, and that is why I say pandemic notwithstanding,
Right.
I started this. So this is now the time, now or never. So went back to meet my relative in Gujarat and said, can we start collaborating? From there, the journey started. So it was never, well thought out, like, entrepreneurs would write a business plan and start it like that. It was purely from passion, for the product. Yeah. Purely.
Yeah, product passion, I've seen you working.
Yes,
But
yeah.
I didn't know you had this side of Udaipur, the culture behind it,
Yes.
and the whole
Yeah.
vintage.
Yes.
Now it is vintage, right?
So are we? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So this is how, and then I said, this is something that needs to get into homes, that needs to get into cafes, into restaurants, into hotels, boutique hotels, large format hotels, And this is what is like giving back your heritage to everyone. And imagine what it would do to, like, you add like these switches that are there here in this
Yeah, the
FAD,
vintage switches we have put,
probably you could show it to them.
Yeah.
So these are vintage switches now,
Yeah.
and they're perfectly functional, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So-
The studio is basically designed with that aesthetic of bringing the old and the new together.
Yes. Yeah.
This was designed by Sakshi and her team and her collaborations with other architects.
Yeah. It's
And,
fantastic. You
the
guys should
whole
visit.
idea was to bring that aesthetic into
Yes.
the place of work, and And this is the studio where we do this all our work. And this studio is called FAD because it is fashion, art, architecture, design. And this was the switch which we are mentioning about, right? The ancient one. Yeah.
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 So, how much character this adds to the place? Just a small thing, and this is what inspires me to go on and do the thing that I do,
Right.
arty.
Right.
So,
So tell me more about your work of curating. You are saying that the old heritage is lost and is left in those godowns
yes, yeah,
and is buried like the past.
yes,
And now you're going to resurrect them back
yes,
and bring them into the homes of the future.
yes, yeah.
And why is this going to happen and why is it inspiring you to do this?
When I was sitting at home during this pandemic, and sitting at home in the sense that it was locked down, you could not go to the office, you were working from home, and I realized home has been the most neglected, and we have used it as a transit house. You go to office, you come back, you eat, drink, sleep, get up, go to the office. Now, and when I was sitting home and I realized probably I could have done this corner better. I could have put maybe a nice little clock over there, which would have added to the value, or a nice study table. Why do the study tables have to be so boring? And
Also Western.
also Western, and why are we losing this heritage? So I said, why not do this? So what I did is the godown that I was talking about, I went back to them and I picked up around 8-10 pieces. And I said, "Ye bhej do." And I got them to Bangalore. We also moved from Bombay to Bangalore during the lockdown.
Okay. So this is a recent transition for you.
Yes. Yeah.
While you were making your new home in
Yes.
Bangalore,
Yes.
you discovered that there is an opportunity
Yes.
for the whole world
Yes. Yeah.
to take away that
To take away
hidden
that.
treasure which is
Correct.
lying underneath in the godown,
Absolutely.
buried.
Absolutely. You said it. I mean, you said it better than me. So basically, that is where it started. So these 8-10 pieces came home and we set it up and things like that. And we live in a community. So, a lot of community people will just walk in to say hi to you. So they look at that and they say, "Wow, where did you get that from?" I said, "I got it from myself. You need to talk to me."
You are
Yeah.
your own first consumer.
Yes.
And so you realize the value of
Yeah.
it.
I mean, of course, I told you that sometime 6-7 years back is when I realized the real value of this. It had been at the back of my mind, but it's like, your office is always taking, precedence over.
Yeah, and thanks to actually lockdown, which has given us so much time to reflect on our past.
Yeah.
And look at this, what is coming out of the reflection.
So I hope, this,
Yeah, this looks so exciting, and I would like the audience to actually go through the whole creation what she has put together. You were calling it what? The Jade?
Artique. So basically, the venture is called Artique, which is basically art and antique. So it's a coming together of antique art. So Artique,
Artique.
Yeah. And this is the first collection. For some time I was just into product selling, to understand what kind of products will do well and all. I realized the importance of putting together collections so that when projects, when architects and designers look at this, they know that a theme can be created out of it. So if suppose this is the Jade collection that
So today you're going to show us your Jade collection.
That's true. Yeah.
So may I know what inspired you to call it Jade and not green or turquoise, or there are so many other fancy names to it?
Okay, so Jade is basically a color of calm, tranquility, and quiet. It resonates with Buddha. So you would have seen a lot of Buddha statues having that jade patina over them, so that the layer that forms on top, which is green in color.
So it's not a turquoise.
No,
kind of a-
so it is a jade, that patina. So that's what I thought. It also symbolizes knowledge. It symbolizes the generosity that comes with it.
So you're going to be generous.
Yes, very much.
Selling you antique, you're going to be
Yes.
generous?
Yes.
We are looking
So-
forward for that.
So like we were discussing,
Yes.
the next 45 minutes after the show,
Yes.
if you decide to purchase something, we are going to offer
Awesome.
a handsome
Awesome.
percentage to.
Awesome. We are looking forward for that.
Yes.
But more than that, we would love to see your catalog. You've
Yes.
done it beautifully, as
Thank you.
as you described to me.
Yes.
And you're going to show us today.
Yes, that's
You're
right.
going to make us walk through each and every product.
Yes. Yeah.
Wonderful. So before we get into the product and before we get into the pricing and the commercial part of it, uh, uh, I would also like you to give us some kind of understanding of different kinds of products that you have been able to discover,
Mm-hmm.
and what is your future about this, and how you're going to make this thing available to each and every one of us who wants to have that possession with us.
Mm-hmm.
Because after all, this
Yeah.
is a very, very limited
Yes.
edition.
Yes. It is a limited
You
edition.
can't create that anymore,
No,
right?
no, you cannot. So some of the pieces are restored, which means that it is old, it is lying in a corner, but it has some damage, a chip or something like that. So that gets restored, and it gets finished. So that is one type. The other is and this is the original antique that has been lying over there. Now, what is also there is what is called the shabby lux. So shabby luxury, shabby chic. Okay. So what it means is, like you would have seen some cupboards and some consoles and things like that, which have a different color in each of their. So there is a green and there's a blue and there's a white and there's a red and everything. So that is old wood that has been collected, and then the wood comes
Assembled.
assembled wood, and then that gives the look. So that is called the shabby chic. So that is another kind.
So the no aesthetic is the aesthetic to that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the architecture that has created problems and not solved problems, this is the solution. Okay. So like old houses that are getting dismantled, and there's a lot of wood that has been used over there, is all coming together to.
So is there a sustainability angle to it? Because today sustainability has become a very fashionable word.
I understand that,
Yeah.
that,
So what is the sustainability angle to it?
So look at it like this, that as a philosophy, as a principle, we do not buy any new wood.
You don't buy any new wood.
No. We only use recycled wood to do whatever we need.
Okay.
So there is no new wood, which means there is no new tree which has been felled. And we've seen during the pandemic, and we've all seen reviews and reports, how Earth has healed during this time.
Right.
And right now is the time to act on it, because we have seen what the healing can do. We've had better air, fresher air, much lesser pollution. So many, the rivers are looking cleaner. The trees are looking fresher because you have not felled them for the last.
There's no pollution.
There's no
There are no
pollution.
vehicles on the
There's
road.
no vehicles on the road. So all this is coming together. It's telling us a story. It is telling us that this is now the time to act and make yourselves as sustainable as you can. Now imagine how many houses have got built during this pandemic, and how much new wood has been used. It's a shame, that we are not, and it's not, don't buy it from me. That's not the idea. The idea is that all this could have been done without using new wood. On the way when I was coming, I saw one timber go down, and all the new trees, the chopping of the branches, and they've been piled up, they've been stacked. And I said, no, this is not happening. No new timber can be.
So either you use an alternative resource which is not harming the nature, or you reuse what has been already created. If you still love to use wood as much as
Yeah.
substitute.
The other thing that I would like to tell is, majority of what happened between the 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th century is that wood was teak wood. Okay, teak wood is naturally anti-termite. Okay, therefore it has lasted so long. Had it been these days the pine wood or the rubber wood and things like that, it won't have lasted so long. No, I have rubber wood furniture at home, and in 10, 12 years you have to kind of replace it
Even
because
much before that.
much before that. Yeah,
The particle board what they use is as good as a
yeah,
uh,
or the
perishable
MDF.
product. Yeah.
MDF is like
Yeah.
so toxic in
Yeah.
that. So that is the sustainability angle, and I don't overplay it, but the point is that yes, this is sustainable, and till now in the furniture industry, people have not seen this angle at all. I mean, if you look at the,
Because there's no alternative.
there's no alternative, and there are no. It's not like that, Jagdish. I mean, I disagree. Alternatives are there. We've not looked at it.
We've not looked at the alternative.
Yeah, things like the antique. We could have all had this.
Yeah, but how much ND can you consume?
Correct.
And if it has to fit into your room, right?
Yes.
And your rooms are becoming smaller.
Yes.
You
So
were
are
living
the
in
antiques.
you were living in a 52 members living in 40 rooms, right?
Yeah.
40 rooms, and you must be having a big courtyard,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So much furniture is designed for that.
Yes.
And
Having
today, if I
said
had to bring that into my bedroom, I don't think so it's going to fit into my bedroom.
to give you a perspective, there was this old Haveli that was being brought down, okay, in Gujarat, in an area called Hadoli, okay, and there was this old, mansion. It had a 40 feet by 40 feet ceiling panel, okay, and it was the Haveli was being brought down. So we came to know about this, and they were wanting to sell the panel to us. Now, modern homes don't have a 40 feet by 40 feet room to put that ceilings. What we did is we bought it from them. We took it down. We made smaller
So
ceiling
you
and
made
wall
4
panels.
rooms out of that. Cutting.
Yeah, cutting chai.
Like you're cutting chai, you're cutting the ceilings.
Yeah, so that is what we did, and
There's always an alternative
as always an alternative.
if you want to think about it.
Yes, yeah. Then there are these large frames that you would have seen in mansions, all the old Rajas and Maharajas photos and things like that. We got a lot of these frames, okay, and we know these are huge. You cannot put it in your room, and so we, customized it to make smaller frames out.
But there is a compromise, right? The measurements will never fit in. You might have some odd size, one extra thing coming out. How are you going to handle that?
Now that's the beauty, right?
So you have to look into the beauty.
Yes. So that's the beauty.
So what is your concept of beauty?
So anything which is not beautiful is beauty. I mean, when people see and say, "Oh, this is ugly," there is nothing ugly in the world.
So we were just discussing before the session
Yes.
about the golden ratio.
Yes.
That's something which is very close to my heart. And whenever I see a product and if I try to put the scale to it, that golden ratio comes out, and that's why things look so beautiful.
Yes.
Right.
So
when you say there is no beauty in beauty, it contradicts my belief.
it does, but look at it. Anything that fits into the Fibonacci ratio, the golden ratio, is automatically proportioned in a manner. The classic example is the Indian flag.
Mhm.
So the Indian flag is 1.68 is to
Yeah.
the ratio.
I don't know that.
Yes.
Okay. I
So-
didn't know that.
So
Okay.
if you look at it, and what Leonardo da Vinci taught us, if I'm pronouncing the name correctly, everything is a proportion. Your initial part of the finger to the middle part to the lower part,
So
they're
there's
all in
beauty to it
proportion.
because my eye is looking at it.
Yeah.
Not my eye. My DNA has that
Yeah.
memory,
Yes. Yeah.
which is looking at the golden ratio,
Absolutely.
and that's what makes it look beautiful.
Correct. So absolutely bang on. Like we were just discussing before the talk, the biomimetics or the biomimicry, and we were saying that in nature, like this is what I've recently learned in the sustainability in interior design course that I'm doing online. And there they taught us that biomimetics is you have to look at how to replicate nature into your houses. Okay, so the rectangles and the squares are a human creation, but in nature, everything is more rounded. It is more, the shapes are more circle. They are more rounded than what humans have created.
So we have created chaos.
We've created chaos.
So we have to go back to the
Absolutely.
circle, which was
Yes.
the origin of everything.
So
Interesting. So, leaving the whole theory behind and coming to the realities of it, I think what the credit goes to Anju is, the kind of work that she has done and the effort that she has put to make the old and the new come together. And we should now actually spend some time to see her products.
Yes.
Would you like to show us?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, great. So let's look at what she has to show us today. So I'm going to open the theme board, which has been created by Anju on the Bespoken platform. And this is something you created last night.
Yes.
Okay, great. So let me just open that and show it to everybody what she has done. Uh, so while this thing is opening up, uh, how much time it takes for you to keep bringing these things back, and do you keep adding new things? Because
Yes.
what I saw the earlier version and what I'm seeing now, I see you keep adding a lot of new things that you keep getting them.
Yes.
So how do you do that?
So what happens is, when I started this, I started with just one source, and I was like, whatever was there in the current inventory of theirs is what I was showcasing. Now, what I've added is what has happened is, because now people know that you are in the business, and more sources have been added. So I'm able to get Gujarat, I'm able to get Rajasthan, Chettinad, I'm able to get Kerala. So these are all culturally.
So you're building a whole community
Yes.
of.
Yeah.
Wow. So now you are really curating.
Yes, now I'm really curating and bringing in products like this morning's post, if you would have seen,
Yeah.
is a late 17th century wall panel,
Wow.
which has the most amazing carvings on it, human figures, and all those. It's beautiful. Like, yeah. So you keep getting it. So you will only put it if you can put it in your home. So the logic that I use is, if I cannot use it, others cannot use
So
it.
you are doing a lot of processing of it, and
Yes.
then you are seeing how it will fit into the budget, how it will fit into the drawing room
Yes.
or the bedroom,
Yes.
considering the modern building
Yes.
floor plans.
Yes,
So you do all that work.
Yeah,
That's a lot of value you're adding to the product, right?
Yes. So that's curation, right?
Yes,
Otherwise, it is like
yes.
any other
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So let us see what we have to see on this catalog. Let me just share the screen with you all. This is a Chrome extension I'm going to share with you all on the Jade furniture. Yeah. I hope you all can see the catalog that is being displayed on this. Yeah. So as I can see, this is.
we can.
I'm going to minimize the screen and I'm maximize the screen, and I'm going to have only the catalog visible. So this is a vintage wall door. When you say vintage wall door, uh, this is pure wood.
This is pure teak wood.
Teak wood.
Yeah, and so if you can see, the blue, the color that has been lost over the years, and that's why you see the color peeling. Now that has a beauty about itself. You see that. You can sit and you can wonder what all stories, what all it must have gone through in its life.
Right.
And that brings that added. Like, imagine, and for days together, I keep looking at the furniture that I have acquired personally and say, what story is it telling me? Who has it been with? It's gone through so much. The turbulations of life.
Mm.
God knows it has seen two pandemics, three pandemics. And to take it on.
Yeah,
So, and this is a 90-year-old door.
This door is 90-year-old.
Yes.
I don't believe it.
Yes.
Ah, if your house can be 400-year-old, 90 years, okay.
So, and so this is, I've shown the setting, how you can put it against a large door. And this is just on the side wall that you're putting it as a beauty, addition.
Right, right. Got it. So let me just switch into the other share mode and see what I can show you all here on this catalog at the same time. There's going to be a little bit of a challenge. I'm not very familiar with this mode of working, so let me just do that. Yeah. So let's come to this next beautiful chair bench. It's a garden bench, right?
Yeah.
And what is the story it has? It's again a jade color, right?
It's again a jade. Iron. Cast iron again is one of the most sustainable metals because it does not downcycle. It retains its original properties. So it is cast iron again. One of the most sustainable metals. There's a lag. It does not downcycle. It retains its original properties. So it is.
Sure.
There's a lag.
And then this bench.
Yeah, this is again wood and cast iron. So again, the wood is old, and cast iron has been remodeled in. So, cast iron has been remodeled. So this the jade to cobalt to teal. That this whole look, and imagine all these are garden benches, and you put one of them. If it can just go back to the cobalt, you'll be able to see the
Beautiful.
setting.
Yeah. You've really done a lot of work to show us how exactly.
So this is how I have seen it in the godown, and this is what I perceive it to be used.
Mm.
So to give you now, this is not a very big house. If you look at it, it's just a garden bench and can be used. It's a 5 feet wide, so length,
Sure.
so it can be used pretty much
Anywhere.
anywhere. Yeah, yeah. Garden bench. It's a 5 feet wide, so length. It can be used pretty much. Again, now this is something that is very interesting. Now look at this. This is a chandelier which is, I am told, 120 years old.
120 years old.
Yes. And it has not left the attic, so to say, for that many years. It's just waiting to be, put up in a home. Look at
So beautiful. It's such a.
and the setting,
So you have managed to actually juxtaposition this in different
Scenarios.
and
Yes.
you put it together for
Yeah.
us to visualize
Yeah.
it.
So in a modern office,
Very nice.
and why not a chandelier, which is like
Very nice. Beautiful. I would like to have something like this.
I'll be glad to give it to you.
What is this?
So-
This looks like to me like a window, actually.
This actually is a small cupboard, a small unit, which can be used like a bar unit. You can use it as a dining console with all your crockery and cutlery inside, so that it is not visible, but very handy to take it out and put a flower vase and or make it like a bar and use it like that. It's so contemporary, and it just adds to the beauty
Yeah.
of the place. Like if you look at it like this, probably you will not see
No, but
beauty.
when you place it with this thing,
Yes.
it looks like a bar.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Just adds to the beauty. Like if you look at it like this, probably you will not see.
No, but when you place it with this thing,
Yes. You look at the carvings on it. Teak is a very difficult wood to carve on because it's one of the most hardest of woods. But when you see a carving on it, you know that it is like it's been there, and people have worked on it. And if you see, the symmetries are not 100% there. There is a small blade which is in the that whole flower thing in the center. You can see one blade is slightly more thinner than the thicker. Then you know that it is handcrafted. So it's like somebody has sat and I think it is called whittling.
whittling.
Yes. So you
With that blade.
yes
that.
you keep at it, you keep at it till you get it. So yeah. So these are not machine made.
Whittling is normally a hobby, right?
Yes.
People whittle
Yeah.
because they just like to do
Correct.
something.
Yeah. I mean it's a new term,
Yeah.
but our craftsmen would be at it,
To get the perfection.
to get the perfection.
And the imperfection in that is perfection.
Yeah. Now, if you see this placement, you see that wall panel. That wall panel is the one that I was talking about, the 40 feet by 40 feet ceiling panel that was there.
And you converted
Yes.
them into this.
Yes. So
So you actually reconstructed this.
yes. So you use that wood only. You didn't use new one. You just reconstructed it. And there is a lot of wastage, but that wastage is not a wastage because you will use it somewhere else.
This is a very beautiful placement of
Yes.
an old door in a new house,
Old door in a new house in a children's room.
in a children's room.
Yeah. Now, why when I was growing up, there used to be these windows with balconies in the house, and you would sit for 8 hours and 10 hours looking outside and imagining the world, and imagine what magic you're bringing into the kid's world. He can open this door and he's into a balcony, which is overlooking his room. I imagine, I can imagine myself sitting there for long hours dreaming away.
And it's not a balcony,
And
it's a fake balcony.
It's actually a balcony, but it is like inside a house.
Yeah, it's a fake balcony.
It's a fake balcony.
It's a window which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like a balcony.
Yes.
Awesome.
And look at the colors, the jade, the whole blueness to it, and it's like.
Nice.
And look at the colors, the jade, the whole blueness to it, and
And what is this?
So this is a console table with the grill work on the front. And
Again, this is a reconstruction.
it's a reconstruction. So this was a jali, if which was outside so it was the border of a haveli
Okay.
in Kutch.
Okay.
So again, those kind of jalis you're not using for your boundary walls, right? How do you bring that back into your home? How do you own that heritage? How do you own that? How do you bring character? This is how you do it.
Awesome.
Right? How do you bring that back into your home? How do you own that heritage? How do you bring character?
This is 34 by 56 by
Yes,
17. That is the inches.
Yes, inches.
The measurements.
So height, length, and width. That's how it goes.
This is 34.
Now, if you have a jungle resort kind of a resort that you're building, and you have all these old horns and all these, and you place this console, and it's like it was always there. It looks like it was always there.
Yes. This is a nice, cute little table.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this was again a reconstruction, or this is the original?
This is original.
So the reconstruction and original might be having a higher price.
Yes. Yeah.
This was again a reconstruction. Wow. We will come to price little
Yes.
later.
This is again a console.
Yeah.
Slightly longer console, but say in a foyer, where you put a flower vase and you put a few artifacts, adds to it. It may not be the centerpiece, but it will bring out your centerpiece totally.
Got it.
Look at the carving on this one.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is a repurposed. So the carving is from one of the, again, houses that was being taken down. So, and then we said, let us create a nice console out of it. So it's pretty long, if you see. Yes. This is a coffee table.
Looks so nice.
Yes. Look at the set. It's a modern home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not? This is a coffee table. I know you have your eyes on this blue door. Yes.
I wish I knew this earlier before I made my studio. I was hunting for this kind of a door. I never got one. So I wish I knew you a little earlier.
I wish I'd started a little early too.
So how old is this door?
This is around 75 years.
75 years. Awesome.
Now, you know how you can make out that this is old. If you see, there is one of the knobs which is missing.
Hmm.
Okay. You know how you can make
It's a brass knob.
brass knob. Yeah. I mean, of course, when we send it out, before that we will fit a new one over there so that it looks symmetrical and things like that. But that's the beauty of, and even if you don't put a new knob, it's up to you. You can say, if you don't want the door with the frame.
We might want to put a digital lock to it.
Oh
Old and
yes,
new.
old and new. Again, a console table, very nice jade green. Oh yes. Yeah, one more. So it's like tending from jade to teal to, look at the calming effect it has on God.
This is very zen.
This is a beauty. This is like, it's a,
That pink color is a natural color.
yes, it's natural. It is, it's almost, I think, 80, 90 years old. The color as well as the roof.
That pink color is a natural.
You can see, at the top part, that's how you can make it out. It's pretty old and it's like, it's used. It is like, it's been there longer than us,
Yeah.
twice or thrice as much, for some of you. It's again a console. It's been there twice or thrice as much. Look at the carvings on this, and at the bottom of it, it's like the carving at the bottom part is my favorite. Yeah, it's like
Awesome.
look at the carvings on this.
Great. So this looks so interesting, and this is available to all our participants who want to watch it and take orders.
Yes.
Is it possible to do that?
Yes, it is
So
possible.
if you want to see the price, how do we do that?
If you click on view details,
View details. Okay, so this is 17,000 rupees,
Yes.
Indian rupees,
Yes.
INR.
yes. And the sizes are either given on the chalkboard
28 by 77
Yes.
by 50.
yes. And a little write up about what you can do with it, or the sizes are either given on the chalkboard.
So price doesn't seems to be so expensive actually. If I have to buy a new console of this size,
Yes.
which is readily available,
It will cost you the same.
yeah, a little less maybe.
Yeah,
But
so-
it will never have this kind of work.
No.
So this is great value.
Yes, it is great value. And these pieces immediately become the conversation piece in your house. Oh, beautiful! Where did you get that from? And then you tell them.
So you should not tell them the price.
No, you should not tell them the price. You should tell them, well, I think it is 80 years old. And like,
So I'm sure the group here who's watching us is having a great time. Yeah. Please write comment if you have liked it. We would like to see more comments about how you're finding this presentation. And if there are any questions,
yeah, no.
Anju is free to give you all her secrets.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
So I'm trying to see if there are any questions or comments going to come now. Oh, there is one.
Yes.
No, I can't. Okay, let me make him audible. Yeah, let me add Gokul. Gokul has some questions. Please,
Good
Gokul.
Hi,
afternoon,
Gokul.
ma'am. So, ma'am,
One
was
minute, I will just
your
make you audible.
good afternoon, ma'am. Am I audible now?
Yeah,
Hi.
Gokul.
Yeah. So, my question is, was your work based, and how do you operate?
Yeah,
Hi.
Gokul.
Sorry, could you please repeat your
So,
question?
my question is, was your work based, and
Yeah,
how do you operate? And how do you operate?
Sorry, could you
So
please
I live
repeat
in
your
So,
question?
Bangalore.
my question is, was your work based, and how do you operate? And how do you operate? There is a lag, ma'am. So,
So
I'm
I
not
live
able
in
to.
So my question is, was your work based, and how do you operate? And how do you
Um,
operate?
there is a lag, ma'am. So,
So
I'm not able to.
my question is, was your work based, and how do you operate? And how do you operate?
There is a lag.
Yeah. So there is some lag here.
I think you'll have to mute.
There is a lag. Yeah. So there is some lag here. So the question is, what is your work base? Where are you based?
So I'm based in Bangalore, and my godowns are in Gujarat and in
So the
Kerala
question
and
is,
Tamil Nadu. So
what is your work base?
before you make your final purchase decision, I will share images from all angles and also a video if you like, and then you can make your final purchase decision. Also, we have very easy return policy. In case there is a damage or breakage and it makes the product unusable, we will take it back and give full refund except for the shipping cost. But if it happens in the first 5 days, then we will take it back and full refund. But if it happens in the first 5 days, then we will take it back and full refund. But if it happens in the first 5 days, then we will take it back and full refund.
Great. So this was a brilliant interaction. I really
I
like.
think Gokul has one more question. Yes, if you are doing so the question is, so if the purchase is very large, can we travel with you to choose and pick them? Definitely yes. If you're doing a bulk buy for a cafe, resort, hotel, home, definitely we can travel together and choose and pick and then definitely ship it. If you're doing a bulk buy for a cafe, resort, hotel, home, definitely we can travel together, choose and pick and then definitely ship it. Yeah. By the way, I would also like to say that I can export it to 26 countries as well. If it is a container load that you buy at a time.
So you have all the logistics.
All the logistics. Exported to 26 countries as well. If it is
So
a
we
container
can
load.
share this with our NRI friends.
Yes.
If they want to set up their houses.
All the logistics.
This is great.
Thank you. If anyone else has any other questions.
Great.
If anyone else has any other questions.
So great. I think we had a wonderful time. It's almost now 5:20. We have almost crossed more than yeah. So great. I think we had a wonderful great conversation. We just got to know you. We just got to understand where you're coming from and the whole inspiration in your journey. So this is beautiful and brilliant, and this link available to everybody?
Yes,
To buy?
yes.
Yeah. So we will share with you the link in the recording, and then you can make a purchase.
Yes.
And you are going to give them an offer for people who have access to this link till the time it is available.
Yes.
Great. So this link is available for very limited time. We would request you all to participate, and have any questions, you could come back to her. We also have a WhatsApp group in which she actively adds new items. So share with us your contact details, and certainly I really want to thank Anju for taking the time and coming over to our fan studio.
Thank you for having me over. I love this place. It's like beautiful. It's great to work from here. Yeah, very nice. And the other thing is, what we could do is the Jade Collection. We can put it in the WhatsApp group for people to make an easy decision, or they can also go onto the Bespoken RS where they did the RSVP.
Yes.
They have a place where they can a button
Access
there.
the-
Yeah.
They can access
The buying process, right?
they can pay the advance on that.
Yes. They have a place where they can a button there. The buying
Super.
process.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
and
much.
Time to say bye. This was a great session, and really appreciate your participation. Thank you, Gokul, for your participation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.